Late nights, I feel my heartbeat racing slow in candlelight. Words unspoken, feelings hidden, shadows dance until the morning light. When you say you need me, I'm holding on tight. All these doubts inside me fading out of sight. In this moment, nothing else feels right. You're probably right, yeah, you're probably right.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is M.C.M, and you are listening to You're Probably Right. Thanks for hanging out again. Check it out. This is going to be a really good one, I think. I have certain episodes that some of them I can't even remember. To tell you the truth, I don't even listen to them again. I know some people do listen to their podcast. For me, it's more like getting it off my chest kind of thing in some sense, depending, of course, on the topic, of course. But yeah, so today, I think you'll like this one. We're going to talk about 50 things that women do when they love a man. And adversely, right beside it, I will do 50 things that men do, or just when a man loves a woman and when a woman loves a man. But the one thing I'm going to start it off with, as I always say, this is not a Christian podcast. It's just a podcast by a Christian. So I believe in what the Bible says, and I come from that. Of course, I've realized sometimes that I've read and sometimes I've said stuff that wouldn't necessarily align with traditional Christian principles. But again, it's just me riffing sometimes. And that's why I say to anybody, if they want to, like, what it is I don't want anybody to hold me up as, he's the benchmark. That's the reason why I always give these like kind of disclaimers at the beginning of the podcast. It's not that I'm going to be saying something like demonic or from any other religions really or anything like that. It's just, I'm just a guy talking. You understand? I always say that I'm not a professor, or I'm not professing to be a professor of anything. I am educated, but just college educated. You know, I can say honestly, I went to college in Toronto. I went to one school called George Brown out of high school. And then I worked for years and years. And then I went to college again to a school called Seneca. I think they're called Polytech now. That was a few years back. So technically, I've been educated in also some other education, some courses in another school called York University, but none of mine. If anything, I could say the best that I could say that I did with that was, what's the word? I just audited is the best way I can put that experience. Beyond that, I would say that I am educated enough to be a psychotherapist, but I am not a psycho. I am not a psychotherapist. It's funny. Anyhow, we're going to get into what I want to talk to you today about. But before I go on to my script, I just wanted to talk to the heart, talk from the heart first. Not that I don't always, but I'm just riffing here, so there's no specific direction that I would take, and it's only a few words really. But first of all, I just wanted to say you'll know when someone loves you. Now, you might doubt it in your heart because maybe you feel like you're unlovable or whatever the case is. But one thing that I can honestly say for sure that's going to be straight up across the board is that if someone loves you, they will lay down their life for you, straight up. Now, the thing is that people understand that a lot of people are scared to die. So if you're saying like there's people who will love each other that may not necessarily even take a needle, any type of needle for their loved one because they're deathly afraid of it. But what I will honestly say, because maybe not everybody would actually die, is that the person that loves you will sacrifice for you. Do you understand? They will sacrifice their time, their desire, their pleasure. They'll sacrifice so much for you. And I can honestly tell you the one person who showed this the best is, of course, Jesus. who sacrificed his life for those who would believe, right? So I just wanted to say that if you're trying to figure out, honestly, if someone does love you, if they never sacrifice anything for you, if they put all of their desires and favorite things in front of you, that should let you know how they honestly feel about you. Do you understand? So if they're a skater, and not that you're not supposed to keep your, like, the other things that go on in your life, right? Maybe you have skating lessons, maybe you teach, maybe you just go and that's your recreation, or maybe you do a podcast like me and you do it regularly on every Thursday. Well, there might come a time when you, because of something that happened with your partner or the person you love, you have to reschedule it sometimes to do it a little bit later, or switch the date because something is happening with that person. Maybe there's an emergency with them, or maybe you realize and recognize that they're down. And it's like, do you do your regular thing, or do you put that off over here because you know you're going to do it anyway? And do you go and take care of that person's need? Do you understand? And I'm going to go through this big list. I'm hoping we're going to have time. I really do not want to have to make this more than one episode. But of course, you'll know because you'll be able to look at the timeline to see whether or not I was able to do it. So I'm going to get right into it, okay? And I just want to welcome everybody, my first-time listeners, my last-time listeners, my fair weather friends, my those who blow in with the wind and blow out. I'd also like to welcome those who literally just tune in so they can get content for their own podcasts or whatever it is. I've noticed certain activity on my account. Just knowing that some people just peruse, like some of my off-brand episode titles that are there. People are perusing those, which is kind of cool when I see it. I'm like, oh wait, I made that. Oh, yikes! Somebody actually listened to that. As I said to somebody before, if somebody really wanted to know everything there is about me, I've literally left no table unturned. There's no holds barred pretty much on this podcast at some point. So if you listen to the first 50, you will hear probably a lot of rough recordings and maybe a couple really crystal clear ones that are probably better than the ones you hear now. Matter of fact, I've switched computers about 3 times, I think. And one of those computers was really, really, really powerful. Now I record on a MacBook Pro, and some of the things that I use according to this operating system are not as good as what I used on the PC before. So it probably doesn't even sound as clean as some of my first ones. But anyhow, I just wanted to kind of just say that, I'm here. Remember, it's just me and you hanging out, and we're just talking. We're just chilling, And if you've made it this far, I just want to let you know that this podcast does actually have a phone number. And I don't know why I'm hearing humming. Okay, it's gone. So I will tell you that if you want me to cover something, or if there's a question you have, and the reason why I didn't literally put this at the first couple minutes of me talking is because I kind of wanted the people who don't really listen, they just kind of peruse for the information. I actually wanted this for my real listeners, and I just wanted to say that if you want to actually leave a message, or if you wanted to text the show and you had a question, or there's something you wanted me to cover, you could either email it at yprpodcast@gmail.com, or you can actually leave me a text message or a phone message. And if it's a good, clear phone message, I'll actually play it on one of my episodes upcoming if people decide to do that. And the phone number is 416-827. Sorry, I'm giving you the wrong number. Imagine that. No, sorry. 647. That's funny. 647-878-8880. Okay. Again, the number is 647-878-8880 for YPR Podcast. You're Probably Right Podcast with me, M.C.M. All right. Okay, so I'm going to get right into it now that I've blown 10 minutes. You can tell when love is real. It doesn't rush, it doesn't compete, and it doesn't have to prove itself. You just start noticing she softens where he's rough, and he steadies where she's shaken. That's what real balance looks like and sounds like. Love has a way of revealing who we are when no one's watching. It's not always fireworks or those movie-style moments people chase. Real love, the kind that lasts, is found in quiet consistency. In the way someone moves through your life without needing applause. It's not about what's said, but what's shown when no one's there to see it. How somebody does something for you and nobody else knows about it except you and them. We often talk about how men and women love differently, but not many people talk about truth behind those differences. It's not that one loves deeper than the other. It's that they speak in different emotional languages. A woman's love is often heard, while a man's love is usually seen, shown. She shows care through presence and conversations. Sometimes he doesn't want to have those conversations. He shows it through protection and reliability, and sometimes she doesn't want to be protected. She wants to protect herself. She wants to make the decision herself. Some people confuse these differences with indifference. They think he doesn't talk enough. He talks too much. So maybe he doesn't care. Or she talks too much about feelings. So maybe she's needy. Or she doesn't want to talk to me at all, and maybe she's talking to someone else. But often, both are loving in the only ways they know how. If you slow down long enough to notice, you'll see they're both saying, "I love you." Just not in the same dialect, and that can be difficult. And it has been difficult probably from the beginning of time for men and women. Today, I want to talk and walk through some simple things. A list of real signs that a woman loves a man and what the male equivalent looks like. These aren't fairy tale gestures or cliche advice. They're grounded in real behavior and how people act when they care for someone, not just when they want them. It's a difference. So as I go through the list side by side for the patterns, notice where they meet in the middle. Love might look different depending on who's giving it, but truth has symmetry. And when two people love right, you can feel that balance without words. Now, before I go on that list, guys, I just also wanted to say that, sometimes people assume that others are jealous and that jealousy is not love. Somehow there's some selfishness in it. Now, I think there's crazy jealousy that there's no rhyme or reason. It doesn't add up, doesn't make any sense. There's no point for it. And then there's jealousy where a person is concerned that they have found their person, their one. And maybe inside of them, they know their own inadequacies. They know their faults. They know their failures. They know their shortcomings. And they have this person with them who they love, and they don't want to let anybody else take them away. Now, yes, they might have been chosen, But sometimes they don't believe within themselves that they're worthy, and they're figuring, if I can get this person, then somebody else who's more skillful, someone who's more reserved, someone who's more outgoing, someone who has more skill, someone who has access to more finances, someone who's better looking could just come and literally pluck them out of their life. And that brings the fear in a person's heart. So I just want to say to those of you out here who maybe have been thinking, the person that they're with is jealous, I would only say to you, really take a good look and see why. Because even with what I just said, there's also competition. I know within guys, and I'm pretty sure within women, because I've seen it in some stories I could probably tell you, where some people only like a person you like because you like them. And they will do whatever they can to get in the middle of that. And even if they don't really like the person that you like, they will go after that person to take them away, or to make you know and let you know that, hey, if I wanted your guy, your girl, I could technically take them. Matter of fact, I might take them just for a split second to let you know that I took them, and then I will throw them to the side because technically I don't actually like that person. I'm just a competitive person. So I would say to people who are experiencing some of the things that I've just spoken about, just understand that when you are with somebody, you should be able to, both of you should have boundaries. Boundaries where you will not allow other people to triangulate or to cross those boundaries that will make either of you uncomfortable in a normal, logical way. And if your spouse, or if your girl, or if your guy has communicated to you that there is a certain person who is lurking like a vulture over your person, and they say, can you watch out for this person because I see that their intent isn't nice, or it isn't proper, or it could get in the way of something, and maybe that person is more your type. And this person senses something. This person senses something around, and they're very protective over your situation. Maybe they've looked high and low and they found you. And now this other person decides that they want to infiltrate the situation and cause a rift or destroy your connection. So just remember that. All right, now that I've burnt 18 minutes, that was just our little heart to heart, y'all. I'm going to get right up to this list. So actually it is 100 things, but it's 50 because I'm going to go side by side. So I guess I'll go 1 up to 50. I was could have gone from 50 down to 1, but let's do it this way. Or is it more climactic if I go backwards? Let's see. Okay. I think I'll start at the top. Okay. When a woman loves a man, number 1, she opens her emotional world to him, even when it risks rejection. So in other words, if you find something, or a woman finds a man and she really loves him and she's really into him, what wouldn't she give for this guy? What wouldn't she risk? You see, there's certain things that she probably wouldn't risk for the guy who probably isn't that guy for her. But if she does love him, she's going to open up an emotional side of her that most people don't get to see. On the guy's side of things, he lets down his guard and trusts her with his weakness. So when a guy, and I might elaborate a little bit on the guy side just because I'm a guy. I guess if it was really good here, I guess I could I would have had a female explain the female side of things. And just remember, I'm obviously not going to touch every single point and every single reason for everything. And some things I might expand on a little bit more because maybe I have more experience with it or I understand it fully. So just understand that. So this first one, he lets down his guard and trusts her with his weakness. And that's where a guy might say, well, I'm really good at this, and maybe it's a manly thing, but I'm not so good over here, and I don't let people know, and I try to hide this weakness because I don't want people to know, but I'm telling you. So once a guy like Superman tells you about his weakness, the kryptonite, the green crystal that will weaken him, if he gives you or talks to you about his weakness, then understand that this guy has let down his guard and he is trusting you with his life, in essence. Number 2. This is good, right? Sorry, I gotta make sure this thing is taping. It's happened to me before. Let me just check it over here. Okay, good. Number 2. She wants to feel emotionally synchronized. Shared feelings matter. So when a woman loves you, she's going to let you know how she feels. And it could be, guys, every little thing, but understand that those every little things are very important. So listen. 2, the guy side of things. He wants to feel respected. Shared direction matters. So from a guy's standpoint, he wants to know that you respect him above all. He wants to know that nobody's coming in between your bond. That's where guys, jealous boyfriend comes from, right? He wants to know that you have a shared direction and you're both going towards this thing. Maybe you're both saving money and not wasting money because you want to have a property over here, or you want to go on this vacation over here, or you don't allow other guys to say certain things and just accept it, or you don't hang out in certain, because your direction is in the same what you're doing has a certain direction to it. You're not just all over the place. Guys want to focus. Number 3. She's proud to be associated with him in public and in private. So a woman who is proud to be associated with a guy will want to parade up and down with him. She'll want to go and walk down the main streets of downtown or wherever it is, or where all the public or where people who even know her will be, because she is proud to be with this guy along with being in private. Everybody can do the private thing, but not everybody is necessarily going to want to parade you around, right? Some people will say, why are you hiding me, right? There's probably a reason. Number 3, for guys, he defends her name and reputation even when she's not around. So this one might be a little bit difficult to figure out unless you have some friends who are mutual friends or acquaintances, or maybe you work together. But it'll make a difference how they speak about you to other people and how they care about you. So sometimes the best way for a girl to figure these things out, is if you do have people that are associated with both of you, is to maybe hear how he defends you, or how he tries to defend your reputation, or how he sticks up for you, or how he provides for you around other people when you're not there. This is good, right? All right, moving now to number 4. And this is, again, when a woman loves a man and when a man loves a woman. Number 4, she pays attention to the small daily details of his life, right? So it could be something like she knows his schedule, and not necessarily because he presented his schedule, but because she wants to know, and she wants to almost not hang off of him in essence necessarily, but she will learn his his daily details. She'll know at a certain time where he would be at this time or what he's doing at this particular time. If she's not concerned, she probably doesn't love you. She just knows you're over here or wherever, or you just went to work and she doesn't know where you work. She doesn't know what time your lunch is. She doesn't know what time you get off. She doesn't know what time you wake up to go. And all those things, she's not really concerned about those things. You just poof, appear and disappear. And then I would question that. On the other side, the men. I'm probably not going to be able to get through these 50 in this one episode, but I'm going to try. And then I'm not going to rush it either. So, I mean, you might have me on 1 times the speed of this thing. That's okay. Because I'm very, I try to be thoughtful when I speak. So if you got to go faster, you go ahead. He handles practical things so she doesn't have to worry. And that's a thing of a guy. You know, maybe it could be moving something. Maybe it could be moving around furniture or relocating this or relocating that, or maybe it's changing windshield washer or moving a couch, or he will do those things because he's practical. So he will do something that he knows would be harder for you to do, or he'll set things up correctly for you. Maybe he'll move things out of the way so you don't trip and hurt yourself. Maybe he'll leave a light on over here because he doesn't want you to bump into something and you're accident prone. Little things that are just practical. I'm not going to say he's not going to catch everything, obviously, but in general, he'll try to be very practical. All right, next. Number 5. She expresses affection through words, touch, and care. Pretty simple. She'll talk to you and let you know by some words of affection. She'll touch you affectionately, not always in some necessarily intimate way. Maybe it'll just be a touch on the shoulder or a hand around your waist. Or maybe, you know, you're washing dishes, she'll come behind you and hug you while you're washing the dishes, or snuggle up to you or something like that, like on a couch, or, you know, or maybe you're sitting on a big enough chair for 3 and she'll cozy up with you, leaving enough room for 2 because you're almost taking up 1 spot, if you understand what I'm saying. And she'll show care, you know. She'll notice things that you need, something maybe insignificant, and maybe you made a mention of it, and or maybe you didn't make mention of it, and it's something that she realized that you need, like a new pair of socks or something like that, because she saw a hole in one of your socks or something like that, you know. And number 5 on the guy's side, he expresses affection through consistency, reliability, and action. So he will do things. And I think that's one of those things where guys kind of falter later down. They figure they got you already, so sometimes the actions sometimes don't show. You know, the garbage doesn't necessarily get out on time. But in most cases, yeah, it does. And the grass is usually cut, and stuff that needs to be dealt with is usually dealt with most of the time. But in anything, if anything, he's consistent. He's consistently going to work. He's consistently looking for a job if he doesn't have work. He's consistently maybe looking for a second job if he needs more money or a better job. But the point is, he's consistent in your life. He's not just here and there. And it's like, I'll talk to you today, and maybe I'll talk to you next week, Thursday. There is some consistency, even if it's not as regular. No, it's regular, but maybe it's not as often as you would like. He's definitely still consistent. Number 6. She wants emotional depth. She asks questions that reach his core. So she'll really want to talk to him, and she'll really want to know important things about him, and she'll want to discuss things that people would consider important, caring, loving, not just fluff. And on the guy's side, he answers those questions honestly. So the questions that she asks, um, whatever it is, just things that would be seen as important, would be seen as core things that, his beliefs, his understandings on the way the world works and on life. He will answer those questions honestly because he wants to reveal himself to her. And that's going back to, I think, one of the first questions, where, not, was it, where is this? Oh, number one, yeah. Where he will open himself up in a way that he could be hurt. Those both basically go together. So I'm like mumbling. So where number one said he lets down his guard and trusts her with his weakness. That's any strong man in history, right? From Samson. He'll fall asleep. That it's a weird thing, but he'll be with you and he'll be so trusting with you that he will actually fall asleep in your presence. Not that he's not in a protective mode, but what I'm saying is he'll let down his guard enough that you can actually hurt him. Huge. And again, some of these things will have more and less importance. I would say that one, number 1 and number 6, are really, really important. So number 6, he answers the questions honestly, even if he's not good with words. He'll do his best to explain himself. Just give him a chance, because that's another thing. Sometimes guys, they're not always so good with words sometimes in certain aspects of their life. And when they're trying to come out with the answer, if you jump on him before he's really finished getting it all out there, or maybe he misspoke in a certain way, let him walk it back, because sometimes guys do mess up when their emotions get into it. Okay, number 7. She forgives small mistakes if the effort feels sincere. So you might be doing something and maybe you make a mistake. Maybe you're both moving a couch and you were trying so hard to take the load off of her that you bit off more than you could actually chew. And what ends up happening is maybe she gets hurt. Maybe she stubs her toe because you jolted something or whatever it is. But the point is, she's not going to be mad at you. She's gonna, in some cases, laugh it off, because she's going to realize that you were just trying to do your best and trying to be protective and trying to share, maybe not share the load. You were trying to take the load. And number 7, he works quietly to prove he's learning from those mistakes. So the same mistakes that he made, maybe he'll realize that, he is not Superman, and sometimes he needs to let you do some stuff, although he really, really wants to bear the load. But he'll learn and recognize that you're on his side, and maybe you're not as strong. And I'm just talking about the one scenario where you were trying to lift the couch or whatever it is, but he'll learn. Maybe he needs to be more strategic, right? Maybe instead of taking 5 boxes at once, he'll take 2 and make a couple extra trip or something like that, and still take the load off of you. Do you understand? So he's learning from those mistakes. And number 8, she becomes more patient and gentle around his vulnerabilities. So let's just say, in the best the best example I can use would be me. For me, just because of the way that I am, my spelling isn't the greatest. Some people might look at me and say that I have a pretty large vocabulary, but at the same time, if somebody's asking me to spell it out loud and and put these letters together, I'm not the greatest at spelling in the air. Maybe I could write it down or type it out, then yeah, I could get it right, but numbers and in letters just in the sky where I'm keeping them in their imaginary places so I can say how do you spell this or how do you, that's not me. And so if I was with someone and they knew that I had that issue, which everybody knows now, they would be more patient, recognizing that's maybe something where I'm not so great at, and that's a vulnerability. That's a simple one. Or maybe it's something deeper, most likely more deeper than that. Maybe you have let's see. It's like sometimes to say these things without revealing my own issues is it's not that easy. But if of course I wanted to get really out there, which I don't necessarily want to be out there with everything, but let's see. Let's say you had some performance anxiety, sorry. Um Maybe you're not the best reader or whatever it is. The point is that whatever the vulnerability is, when she recognizes it or when you communicate that, she'll use kids gloves around those things, because at the end of the day she wants you to feel and be in the best light possible. She doesn't want you to be down in the dumps because of something that she knows you're not good at and draw attention to your vulnerability. She doesn't want to open you up to be hurt, so she's going to cover you, right? You know, there's a saying, or there's a scripture in the Bible where it says love covers a multitude of sin. So she's going to want to cover you. Now, not necessarily, she's still going to, like, basically she's going to be trying to protect your vulnerabilities. She doesn't want anybody else to see it or know it, right? You're her guy. So she's not going to sit there and try to embarrass you in front of people. She's not going to make fun in that way. Maybe she'll tease you, because that's the one of the earliest signs that someone likes you a lot of the time is when they tease you. You know, kids on a playground, girls, women still do that up to a certain, but they're not going to do it in a way where you're really going to be full of shame and not be able to communicate and operate after she does it. You understand? There's a difference. And guys, on the other side, he becomes more patient and controlled around her emotions. If you know there's certain things that really, really bother her, you're not going to ride it and deride her from being able to operate properly by messing with her emotions, something that she's really, really touchy about. Once you recognize it, hopefully, and sometimes it takes guys a lot longer to recognize things, but generally, once he knows, he knows. Number 9, she remembers she remembers his preferences and adapts to make him comfortable. So a woman, when she knows you have certain preferences for certain things in different areas of your life, she'll remember them. She'll put like a, put like a sticky on it, a virtual sticky, and she'll do things to make you more comfortable. Maybe it's dinner. Maybe you like to eat with a spoon rather than a fork. You understand? She'll remember those little idiosyncrasies, those little preferences, and she'll try to cater to those things when she can. Number 9, with guys, he adjusts his habits to make her life easier. So maybe he has certain habits and maybe they're not the greatest, and it's not something that needs to be a necessity of his life, but it is a habit of his. So he'll adjust it the way he does it. I don't know, let's just say he's a smoker and she doesn't like cigarettes. So he'll do his best he won't smoke in the car. He'll, more than just opening the window. I've had people who smoke, and instead of saying, let me just stop here and smoke for a second, they think that if they open one window, that will not have me smelling their smoke. Whereas, maybe you open your window if you're driving and you open the one diagonally across so the smoke will blow right out. That's something simple, and maybe he couldn't really handle it or whatever it is. But in most cases, if it was a guy now, the guy would usually, okay, can we just stop for a sec? I'm going to smoke outside the car just because I know you don't like smoke and I don't want anything to happen to your lungs. You know what I mean? Or, like that's just something like a simple thing, but a habit that he will adjust to make her life better, life easier. keep her longevity going. Number 10, she worries about his safety, diet, stress level. And it's a big one. I mean, there's so many little pieces of it I could talk about. Yeah, she might not be able to protect him physically, but she'll worry about his safety. And sometimes, sometimes to his detriment, like he goes up on a ladder and I'm going to steady it for you. Or I don't think you should be, she'll come back with a Diet Coke and you wanted straight up Coke. Or she's not going to want to stress you out. There's things that she could have just asked for you to do. Maybe you're sleeping a little bit longer, so she jumped out with the shovel and she's out there shoveling the snow, and she can barely handle it, but she knows that you're going to go to work and maybe you do a physical job, and she knows you'll be tired, tuckered out, or whatever it is. So she tries to take on some things that you would normally just do, but she'll recognize your stress level. She recognizes your tiredness level, and she'll try to do something about it, or she'll try to maybe get somebody else or a kid or whatever it is to try to take some of the load off you because she wants you around. And number 10 for guys, he worries about her comfort, protection, and stability. So he wants her to be comfortable. He will not buy him something and buy her something to make sure that she's comforted. He'll be concerned if she feels protected, or whether she's really, really protected or not. Or maybe there's something that she doesn't have, or she can't get it herself, or whatever the case is, and he wants her to be comfortable, protected, and stable. So he'll reach out and do those things to make her life and her, her well-being, he'll take care of it if he can, as best as he can, or he'll try to makeshift to do something to make it better in some way. He'll speak to those little things or big things if he can. All right, let's see. Number 11, she wants him to feel admired and capable. And on the other side, I'm just going to say straight up, he wants her to feel safe and desired. So she wants him to feel like she admires him. It's like, oh, he's not just John, he's my John. And I admire that guy so much. And he may not be the best singer, but she'll tell him she loves the way he sings. You understand? He's a capable singer still. She still admires the way he gives his all. Maybe he's not the greatest singer. Do you understand? She will still admire him for something that in most people's eyes will say he's not that good at it, but she'll figure out a way to admire him for it anyways in many cases. And him, yeah, he wants her to feel safe, and he wants her to feel desired. And sometimes guys do push that part a little bit too much, and sometimes that ends up really kicking their back in at the end of the day, sadly, in many relationships that go left. But he wants her to feel desired, and that's a big thing for guys. Sometimes it's not as big for women, because sometimes they don't feel like they're worthy of all of that, or they don't understand what the big fuss is sometimes over them. But that's what guys will fuss over you, and they want you to feel safe. They want you to feel that nobody could even lay a finger on you. You understand? And that's where that overprotective boyfriend comes in. 12. She'll challenge him if she thinks he's drifting from his best self. So yeah, she'll take you on. You may be big, bad, and tough, but she's going to challenge you when she doesn't think that you're doing the best you can. The best example, sometimes you see athletes and they end up with these ultra competitive women. Sometimes they played sports as well, and she'll know the difference of whether he's giving his all or when there's a little bit more that he could have given there, and she'll call him out on it, right? She's not just there for the ride. Whatever he's doing, she'll take part almost, even if she's not on the playing field or the battlefield, but she'll call him out on things that maybe he's not doing so great that she knows he can do better. And on the flip side, the guys, he'll correct himself if he knows he's hurting her peace. So he will apologize. If he knows that he's doing something that's totally ticking her off, unless he's trying to tease her, have fun a little bit, but if he knows that it's actually hurting her peace, he will do his best to correct that behavior. 13, she wants shared experiences that create memories. So she wants memories, whether it's a purchase, something maybe that he buys, and a lot of time women will show sentiment for things because they don't know where things are going to end up, or even so, maybe things won't last, but she still wants to remember the memories that you created. And these are the things a lot of women go back to when things aren't that great. They go back to these memories. They put on a sweater, or they put on a pair of shoes that are too big and stand around in them, and they're his shoes or his pants or something like that. And maybe it's not something physical, but the point is she wants to make memories. She wants to remember the day they went for a picnic. She wants to remember the day that they walked out the whole of downtown, and and they were sightseeing or people watching. She wants to remember these little things, because these little things can become big memories. And on the flip side, he wants shared achievements that create security. So he wants to be able to maybe make that purchase. He wants to be able to climb that mountain, or he wants to be able to maybe to say that they did this together. So it wasn't just him. And even, let's just say it was an athlete. Somehow he would draw her into having some onus on this achievement, and he wants her to share in that achievement so that she knows that she is a part, and in many cases the reason why he was able to do certain things was because of her. So he will in many cases look to her for those things that he was able to do. He will have her to be a part of it, a part of that achievement. Any guy worth his weight in salt would, if he was accepting an award, he's going to thank his better half, right? And if he doesn't have a better half, you'll know he'll go right to his mom, or whoever. But yeah, that's just guys. Number 14. She introduces him to family or close friends when it's real. So notice that she will bring you around her family if she thinks that the situation is going to be real. Somebody that she wants around, not somebody she's just testing. People have a way of disqualifying people early on, but maybe they just serve a purpose in their life. So they won't necessarily bring you around. Females will not bring you around their family if they're not so sure about you. So it's just something to keep in mind, guys. And on the guy's side, he introduces her into his routines and responsibilities. So maybe she's not going to work out, but he lets her tag along, and maybe she sits in the massage chair while he works out. Or there's something that he has to do, and maybe it's a call he has to make to a customer. A lot of the time he will, because she wants to be around him, he'll say, yeah, come for the ride. Maybe she'll sit out in the car while he goes in and fixes the dishwasher. You understand? Or maybe he'll bring her on in. You know what I mean? Like, he'll make a point at some level, at some point in his life, to introduce her into things that he does routinely or a responsibility he'll have her somewhere around it. Okay, moving right along. Number 15. She shows affection in public, naturally and not for show. Big one for guys. She'll walk and she'll grab one of your arms, one of your big arms, right? And she'll walk with you. And she wants people to know, not necessarily for the show, but she will show you some sort. It doesn't have to be a total PDA, public display of affection, but there'll be some way that she'll know. Maybe she'll hold your hand. Maybe she'll wrap her arms around one of your arms and walk with you. Or maybe she'll just, usher you to the left or the right of her, or snuggle in behind you while you're trying to do something. You understand? And on the guy's side of things, he avoids embarrassing her in public, even during conflict. If something's happening, most of the time, if a guy loves you, he's not going to embarrass you on purpose. He's not going to shout you out in front of people. He doesn't want people to look down on you, and he doesn't want you to be embarrassed or feel like you're less than in front of other people. I know many guys have slipped up in this, and trust me, guys who have slipped up in this respect, who actually love you, feel horrible after. You may not say a lot about it after, but if you have had to reprimand them, or if you've had the big crying match in the car, not shouting match, just where you're crying, you're bawling your eyes out, and he's there beside you driving, and trust me, he feels horrible. And in most cases, if the guy does love you, he trust me, he feels horrible. And many guys have slipped up in that respect. I'm not saying I have, but yeah. All right, number 16, moving right along. I wonder if we can get to 25, because I don't think in 120 minutes I'm gonna be able to get all 50 done. Let's see. Okay, number 16. She invests emotionally before expecting much in return. Yeah, I guess I think that she will open up to him, even though she might not necessarily expect him to be able to, but she's going to show that she has some emotional investment in him, even before she would expect him to be able to show or go in that deep for her. And on the other side, he invests time, he invests effort and resources before expecting affection. So I know this one can be sticky for a lot of guys, because sometimes guys don't know when to and when not to. And a lot of time guys will, for instance, they'll use some of the resources, something that they have that's theirs, that they've worked for. It could be money. And sometimes he will invest in something or pay for something, generally, a date, or maybe she needs something and maybe he goes and he gets it. He shows effort to do something, to fix something for her maybe, and he invests time. So that's where he's consistent, and maybe he's consistently doing something, and if he really loves you, he will be consistently doing it in a timely manner as well. So the amount does also, with quality, will also come more quantity, even if it's not a huge amount of quantity, but it will be there. Just admiring this huge squirrel that's outside of this place. Here's the joke, guys. I fed a squirrel today. It was just a piece of brown bread or whatever. And of course, this big fat one came along and at some point stole it from the other one. And I don't know where they stashed it because I don't think they ate the whole thing. They might have, but yeah, it's kind of funny. Then they just stopped and looked at me just now, seeing me in the window. It's kind of wild. It's funny. Anyhow, okay, number 17. She supports his ambitions even when they don't include her. Maybe even if she doesn't even like it. I know why I'm laughing. And on his side, he plans his ambitions around her presence. So again, there might be something that he does regularly. I wouldn't encourage any guys to stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you used to. You look funny, but yo, make him. No, I'm joking. Humpty hump. Um, he'll again, I'm gonna say it. I know that a lot of guys will stop doing stuff. He goes to gym on Wednesdays and Saturdays, or maybe he goes all throughout the week. Maybe he'll shorten it down 4 days to make room for her. Not necessarily a good idea. Maybe you could shorten your sessions, but I would say keep your consistency with whatever it is you're doing. She found you that way. She doesn't necessarily want you to change those things. You haven't messed anything up yet, so there should be no alteration in your schedule necessarily, but guys will be willing to do that, to switch and do things around his ambitions around her presence, knowing because he's basically leaving room for you. You understand? And she, again, as I said, she supports his ambitions. So maybe he had a TV show, maybe he had a podcast, maybe he's a musician. She'll show up even though his group sucks. Maybe she'll tune in and say, hey, I noticed you did a topic on such and such, and you really tried. Maybe you can do it from this again, she'll try to big him up. She'll try to show him maybe where he's not being his total best self, but she's gonna support him, or she's gonna say way to go, or maybe she'll tell you just to go, maybe do your creative thing. Like maybe you'll leave room, but she'll leave room for you to do what you usually do and keep you on task because she knows that you have a goal. Do you understand? So she may not necessarily take part, but she might be hovering around when you go and play that pickup game at the courts or a hockey game. She'll put on the earmuffs and a warm coat and she'll come sit in the arena while you play hockey. And what guy doesn't want that? The only thing is when you get there, you got to know how to act. And most girls know what that means. Some girls don't. Guys, I'm just being straight up. And you can explain it to her if she happens to be there saying, what does he mean? how to act. When I take you out with my people, you got to know how to behave. But there's terms of engagement. You can't just be yourself. You got to be us. Right. All right, here we go. Number 18, she gets emotionally protective, not possessive. So she wants you to feel good about yourself. She's not gonna necessarily try to bogart the whole situation. She's not gonna try to maybe control every little nuance of every little thing, but she's definitely gonna be emotionally protective over you as a guy. Yep, she will. And 18, he gets physically protective, not controlling. So he might take you, where a guy will, use his palm of his hand and kind of usher you this way or usher you that way, or he'll open the door for you, or he'll watch your head as you sit into maybe you have a low riding car or something, and he'll make sure that your head doesn't hit the top of the car. Stuff like that. You understand? Obviously, you can go physically protective against other people. Obviously, that's a given. But there'll be other ways that it won't only be, I'm the big brute, and if a fly lands on your arm, I'm gonna smash it into smithereens. It's not necessarily all that violence, but most guys will have that in them to a level where other people know, yes, this is his woman, and he will do what is necessary to protect. Some guys drop the ball and not know when to jump in on an argument or in a protective manner. Sometimes it happens. We all drop the ball here and there, but in general, he will try. So don't hold it against him if he dropped the ball, 15 years ago at that lunch where the person poured their salad on you by accident or on purpose, and he didn't jump up and smash them. Then there's learning lessons. You understand? He will, if it messes with your peace, he will do his best to alter his behavior in the future, where he sees, of course. There, guys, I tried. 19. She notices emotional distance right away. So if a girl loves you, she'll recognize right away when you're not feeling it because of something. Again, some people are more in tune, but she'll try to tune herself to your emotions. And because some guys are not that great at expressing their emotions properly, she'll recognize, a woman loves you, she'll recognize a look on your face. She'll recognize when all the joy has leaked out of your entire being. There's something that you do, there's a look in your eye, she'll recognize it if she loves you, because that means she's already tuned herself to your station already. And on the guy's side of things, 19, he notices disrespect right away. And little things that women do sometimes, and I know I'm going more on the negative side of things for the female side. I'm just, as a guy, I'm just telling you, a guy will recognize when you're disrespecting him. And even if it's something that you will say, it's not disrespect, it's just me being me and all those different things, but he'll recognize it 100%. If he cares, he's going to recognize it. Maybe there's a way that you're performing in front of other people to act in a way as if you're still looking for a partner and he's your partner already. There's certain things that he will not be cool with. Or a way of you being sometimes, maybe the certain behaviors that you would have when you were looking or hunting or being available for other people, that certain things maybe he would expect you to kind of turn off or tone down when you're with him. And not necessarily just when you're in the same place. There'd just be certain things that there should be no access to parts of you, obviously. And you can extrapolate that physically, mentally, emotionally, or whatever, ocularly. All right, 20. I think I'm gonna stop here. I wonder if I better go right to 25 if I can. Let's just see. Okay. 20. She craves reassurance through words or attention. So if you're out doing something or home doing something, she craves your reassurance that, you're with her, that, she's doing the right thing. And she might look to you for guidance, on how to do something. You look to your know-all, your your understanding, your wisdom. She'll look to those things, and she'll look for your words to say, affirmation, to let her know that something's going to be okay, and maybe this is the way she can look at it if she wants to. But she'll be looking for your attention. She'll be looking for your 2 cents, even if it is just 2 cents. When he's making decisions, she's not necessarily going to just do everything by herself, especially if you're there on hand. She would like to know what you think. She might shoot you a text and say, should I go this way or should I go that way? And she might not necessarily want you to hash it out with her. She's looking for you to make a decision. And a lot of time, even without her. And it's something that she's going to do if she loves you. Number 20, same for guys. He craves reassurance through loyalty and consistency. So that's where the disrespect and the respect come in, where he wants to be reassured that she's home team. Home team meaning him, us, we. Whatever she's doing is doing it in a way that will scream loyalty to him and also to the outside world, that again, she is loyal to him and they are loyal to each other. So therefore, when he has that, the less that he actually has to do himself. She'll put herself out there that she is this guy's ride or die chick, as they say. 21. She tries to repair things through talking. So maybe there's an issue between the two of you, and maybe she knows that she didn't necessarily go about something the right way. She won't just frivolously talk all kinds of fluff and switch the subject. She will try to repair. And I mean, I don't know. She might be a person who's not very good at saying sorry properly. But most women, when they love you, they will try to talk it out and try to repair things. They won't just let it be, let it hang and blow over, right? And that's in a case like that. Most of the time, it takes a level of maturity. You know, it takes maturity to admit you are wrong. It takes maturity to maybe say what you would do and to reassure the person that you would do something different the next time. Let's see. Wait, she notices. Okay, yeah. All right. And for him, he tries, number 21, he tries to repair things through action and time. So if there's something he can do in in a physical way, or with, I guess, in the stitch of time, whatever that is, he will try to fix it. He will get down on his knees, on his back, and fix the plumbing if he can. He's going to try and do it right there, because most guys are fixers, not necessarily handy, but they're going to try to fix it. If you tell him that you had a problem at work, he'll be, a lot of guys have to be taught not to do this. Sometimes women are just looking for an heir, but most guys are built in a way that they try to fix things. They try to help things. And instead of just letting things be and play out, most guys want to assure you, they want you to be stable, they want you to be happy, they want you to be emotionally sound. So they'll try to step in where they can. Again, sometimes guys do it out of turn, and please don't fault them for that. It's in our nature to try to be protective. It's in our nature to try to fix things, even if we're not handy, right? Even if we don't know the right words, we're going to try to say something, not necessarily the right thing, but we're going to try to say and do something that will show you, that we care and we love you. Number 22. She feels secure when he listens fully. So again, it's not necessarily that he's going to be able to fix it, and he might try out of turn even, but she feels secure when he at least gives her ear. And that's why, guys, you'll come home and yikes. You'll be minding your own business. That was my protein bottle shaker. Sorry, guys. It's not that you'll necessarily be able to do it, but the guys are gonna try to fix it if you can. So, yeah, that's just guys, but we'll be listening at least. And the problem is we'll listen, but the question is, what are we going to do with the information that you give us? Because most guys are practical, right? So we're going to want to do something after. But the whole point for us guys is to remember to fully listen to the whole thing and listen in a way that we'll understand, if you're lucky, exactly what she would like you to do. Sometimes she wants you to do absolutely nothing. She doesn't necessarily want you to pull up at her job and punch the boss out. She just wanted you to hear of the problem. You understand? The problem is when you give us that information, where's my duct tape? I'm gonna fix this right now. Right? You understand? The guy's gonna soup. What? What? The hinge is falling off. What do you mean? All right, I'm driving over right now. Like, we want to fix it. We just think that there's a practical way to take one thing off of your plate. If we can, we're gonna do it. Right. 22 for guys. He feels secure when she trusts his leadership or judgment. So yeah, when it's like, oh, what do you think? And yeah, and what you're asking me? Oh, well, I think this, and when she like takes it almost like gold, like golden, like okay, he has spoken. And when we feel that, like, sometimes sure guys have their little god complexes where they just want to be some woman's end all be all kind of his judgment, his leadership. When you guys want to have somebody following them in that way, and if you give that to a guy, it's very, very, very valuable in male currency, emotional currency. 23. Wow. She compliments who he is, not just what he does. So you could be a caretaker. You could be a street sweeper. You could be a garbage man. You could be the guy who just glues the left side of the microchips on the computers inside of the facility. But she'll figure out a way to compliment him anyways. Maybe he says he's in the circus or he works for the circus, and people are like, wow, you work for the circus? And he's just the guy who actually just shovels the elephant poop. But she's gonna make him feel good about what he's doing regardless of the level, because he's her guy and she loves him. On his side, he compliments how she makes him feel, not just how she looks. So a lot of guys will try to bring you into his mind's eye about how he sees you. So yeah, you're pretty. He'll tell you you're pretty. He'll tell you you're beautiful, whatever it is, or things that you know that you had nothing to do with sometimes. Like, I mean, yeah, you combed your hair yourself, and yeah, you put your makeup on, whatever it is, or maybe you don't wear makeup, and maybe you have no hair. But somehow he's going to let you know what your effect is on him in a positive light. If you don't hear that, that guy don't love you. Just telling you. And maybe I shouldn't make such a bold statement, because maybe there's a guy there and he can explain why he never compliments or lets you know how you make him feel. So I'll allow that to happen before I say my big know-it-all things. And guys, I don't want to stop right there. I think I can go on. Okay, 24. When the woman loves a man, she includes him in her emotional landscape, her fears, her hopes, her dreams. So this of course goes back to 22, where she feels secure when he listens fully. These are very, very, very important. And I can't say that she's going to technically make space, or it'll be after, the afterglow of a situation, or it'll be sitting in the tub, or whatever the case is. But she includes you in her emotional landscape and lets you know her fears, her hopes, her dreams. She will communicate those to you. Hopefully you're listening and do what you can to support those. And on the guy's side of things, 24, he includes her in his physical and financial landscape, his goals, his plans, his commitments. So stuff that he wants to do financially, he'll let you know about it. If he might be trying to figure it out, and that's why he hasn't said anything up until now. If he's working out, he'll let you know, I'm trying to cut some weight off, so maybe I don't want to eat at Hero Burger. Or he's going to let you know his commitments, things that he has to do, whether it's for his family, his mom, whoever. He's going to let you know what his plans are, so that you have an idea, so that nothing takes you by too much surprise. And 25, and that's where we're going to stop here. I'll go on to the next episode and we'll finish the 25. She feels at peace when he's emotionally close. And when she can see that you are tying yourself to her emotionally, she'll be at peace. She'll be emotionally snuggled up with you, you know? And on 25, on that side, he'll feel complete when she's physically near. And yeah, he does like when you're physically near. Sometimes, not necessarily so you're stopping him from being able to do something, you just become like another body part, an extension of his arm. Like, honey, can you pass me that wrench? Maybe you're doing something and he just wants you on hand to help. And it's not the fact that he couldn't just stretch from one side to the other and go grab it himself, but most guys like it when you're close by in some way. But physically, yeah, for sure, because that's a guy thing. And I'm going to stop it right there. I'm not going to close off just yet. I will just close off this episode by saying that this is M.C.M. and you are listening to You Probably Right. Tune in for part 2 of this list. Hey, come check out You Probably Right podcast. Society is getting more unpredictable every day, but at the same time, predictable in its unpredictability. Say that 4 times real fast. Come with me as I attempt to find clarity in all the fog while staying way outside the box and kicking the box way down the road with my size 12 dogs. I use the Bible, experience, education, fortune, misfortune, life's lessons, life's mistakes to sort through all the mess. I talk about news, God, God, self-help, sports, sickness, health, music, parenting, love, humbleness, hurt, pain, joy, and all the things that might make you say, I never thought of it that way. Hopefully, anyway. Also, I take a stab at answering tough and not so tough questions, and all the while, understand that, listen, sometimes you end up in the hot seat and there's no thermostat. Well, that's how it is here. And because there's no topic, very few topics off the table, Torontonians will understand that Doug Ford reference there. Hopefully the podcast will be helpful and uplifting. And hey, maybe you'll find your own private Idaho here somewhere. Hope to see you soon.